want to come into VM, and that's because there is a certain lure attached to the to our profiles, and we are encouraged a lot, and like Pavan was saying, there's a lot of creative freedom that is given. So once others see that happening to us, everyone else is like, can you please take me in your team, like that. But then how we choose people is again in alignment with what you're saying, because I agree that yes, a VM has to be creative, but our creativity does not is not always used in creating things. It is a lot of time used. It goes into understanding the creativity of somebody else. Like what is the original idea? What is the brand guideline? What is it? What can I do which is in alignment with that? And it goes into finding a middle ground mostly, that okay, the sale also happens and it still looks good. So I think it is mainly the fact that how you do anything is how you do everything. And there are people who are just who happen to be intelligent and creative, and as long as both of these requirements are met, we are very happy to take them on board. Even our assessment processes are like that, and which I wanted to ask Akash when you were talking about assessing people, that what do you do to, what is the qualifier for you when you say that okay, this person can be taken on board? Because we just have we don't really ask people to shadow anybody, but we just give them an exercise which is a mix of everything, and not the entire exercise is not just about apparel. Like sometimes I have asked people to play Tetris and Sudoku, and because I thought that it's the same kind of mindset that is that is required for a certain kind of a planogram, or in order to fix the stock in a space allocation basically. So if you can share some of your assessment techniques that may help us even more.
Hello. So when I was talking about the problem statement that was thrown to us, is how do you get more talent when you are expanding as such, and it was mostly towards getting in more talent at the beginning level, which is the stored VMs. So to that limited point, uh, our assessment techniques are that if you have a salesperson in the store who shows certain intent on doing more than just basic sale and the hygiene of placing the stacks together or placing the garment on the hangers. So there are certain people who are more engaged, who feel more ownership than just displaying. You get a planogram. So all our brands in-house or even the external brands have their schemes. So there are people who go more than doing just following the hygiene parameters, and you will feel the difference in their counter. There are stores, in the national profile, I have limited reach towards visiting all the stores. Regional VMs visit the store. So you will find that there are certain counters who always look much more well represented than the other ones. And between the chain from brand to brand, when you go to stores, you will feel the difference with the same stock from counter to counter. And that does not come because of one standardized scheme that somebody else has created in the corporate and shared. Then you start identifying those people. Then you see the spark. They want to interact with you. So those things are sometimes when we visit, we point it out to the RBM saying that look out for this guy. He could be your next potential person. The RBMs regularly review them. They have their anyways those stipulated once in 6 months, once in 3 months assessment. So overall with that we come up with in the region, say for example in South we have about 40 odd stores. So we'll come up with 3 or 4 talent which are naturally more much more who show much more ownership than the others. So those people then in the next cycle we give them a smaller store to work with. We see their performance, if they are able to take on the pressure. Doing one brand is again a very different thing than handling the entire 40,000, 50,000 square feet of a plate. Are they able to demonstrate more maturity? Then we give them some more, and then gradually in a 2 years process they become a full-fledged VM. That was about the limited brief of how do you find more talent to add at the entry level. So that is how we assess them. Assessment at the corporate happens very differently. So it's all profile centric.
Can I just add one thing?
Yeah, please.
So just in continuation, little disclaimer which I should have given a little earlier to what I had said about grooming and building talent internally and why VM is vocational and how you don't necessarily need to belong to a certain formulaic way. largely stems out from the way that alongside creative aptitude is not restricted to what education qualification that you come with. I really like the Tetris and Sudoku approach. I think that's something to learn from. But I also want to tell that when, and I can take the liberty to talk about the group sitting here, that when we did choose to take on VM as careers, none of us answered the question when we were 6 years old, what do you want to grow up and be? I don't think any one of us said that we wanted to be a VM. Everybody here, pretty much, you guys are younger, probably also studied it in part of your curriculum. Design education back in the day, and I'm talking early 2000s or late 90s, did not have VM as a subject, and you dabbled or landed with by mistake. It was treated with that much, and like I said, there is no harm with letting a person who has handled retail marketing lead VM operations. Or in another example, at one of my previous stints, where a kids wear designer was given a chance to lead the national chain store VM, and he did a brilliantly great job. So I think you guys are the tastemakers, the influencers within your organizations, and do open more doors and I think give more chances, because like I said, everybody here to an extent, at least the older bunch, has landed here by mistake and crafted a successful career. So I think that's something, be a little more flexible with assessments, especially with building talent.
I think keep the door open. I think that's very important word you mentioned.